Blessings, everyone. It's time for the incoming wave, where we talk about the influxes of new energies and new frequencies that are integrating into this reality experience as we continue through this big shift in consciousness. And I just want to remind everyone, first, that is a placeholder opener, okay? No, I'm not going to let that be what it is. I am going through, again, a big shift when it comes to, my social media, my website. I'm doing all kinds of alterations to my screen name. This transition from Scarlet Moon to Son of Selene, or Selene if you prefer, is well underway and almost over. I will be doing a live video talking about that for folks as well. But I also wanted to remind everyone that these incoming waves are actually done live. I actually present my findings live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time, US and Canada. And I also do another live chat on Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific time, US and Canada. And this one is actually covering the live session that I did back on the 13th of January. And I want to apologize for being so late with this. I know I got the New Light Astrology up, but then this one ended up, kind of waiting. And that's just because I got really, really swamped. But we are here. We are doing it now. And remember, incoming waves are in play and they stay in play. So it's not really a matter of it being on time or late, because it's showing up and it's integrating into our experience, and it's gonna, again, only get stronger and pick up as we go through the rest of January, and especially amplify as we go into early February. And if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. That has not changed. That will not change. Okay, so same website. So let's talk about what's going on here. What cards did we get for what energies are really going to work right now? We got the Chariot, the Eight of Pentacles, and Death. And this field, it's a field shift. It's not so much a wave as it is a change to the energy field of the planet. I would almost say it's a field change. It's not a wave in and of itself. There are revelation waves, of course, going on. Those have been really amping up since the solstice. But this is more of a field alteration. And what we're seeing here is this big push to reveal everybody's 2021 personal mission and personal mission dispensation. We talk about personal mission. This is something that a lot of folks, again, this is going back to even last week and maybe a little bit before, might have already started feeling getting teased when it comes to your work, how you serve, your conscious evolution process, your spiritual practice. The dispensation of your personal mission, it's not about purpose, right? Because we don't do purpose. We're not talking about purpose here. We are talking about a mission to essentially follow and work with and integrate your higher self's priority. The higher self priority for this year, where your higher self, your I am presence, already has been, right? Outside of time and outside of space, all of these things on a quantum level have already happened. And you're going to be getting all of these flashes of where you're going to be, who you're going to be with. Some of you probably even started getting some glances or some hints of this going all the way back to the December solstice. But this is going to become a lot more clear. This is going to feel a lot more easy to translate to yourself, translate to your own brain. All of these flashes, all of these premonitions, precognitions that you're having about yourself, that you're having about your higher self and what your trajectory for this year is really going to be the name of the game, especially this next 2 months. Because we've actually had a bit of a downtime. And that downtime kind of occurred right around Halloween. And I want to take a second, those of you who watched the live last week know what I'm going to do. I want to talk a little bit about the shift that's also going on with the planet, where there is this atmospheric, this field evolution that is bringing it back into, working in sync in a higher vibrational way with what we might call the wheel of the year, or what has been referred to as the wheel of the year. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, the wheel of the year, I've got an example right here. For those of you who may come from a pagan background or a witchy background, you're probably aware of that. The wheel of the year is a calendar of measurements of the equinoxes, the solstices, and the cross quarters. Actually, I don't want to put that up right now. I want to show you. So cross quarters, if you're, you might not have heard of that term, are also actually special points on the wheel of the year. So we have the solstices, right? So Yule, midwinter, right? Winter solstice. Letha, summer solstice. And then we've got the equinoxes, right? September equinox. And then we have the March equinox. And then you have these 4 cross quarters, which are actually halfway points between the solstices and the equinoxes. So this is what's interesting about what has occurred is that this descent into sort of a downtime of what may actually feel like, in the cases of some of your own journeys, depending on what you've got going on with your own manifestations, your own works, might have felt as though a lot of this last 2 months had sort of been put on hold. A lot of conversations, a lot of big moves, a lot of big plans that maybe you were really getting jazzed with, getting to work with, things that were maybe told to you when it comes to your own spiritual team, your own spiritual work. Well, that pause is actually a bit of a reality correction that's been going on throughout. And when we have this transition from Halloween, which actually is a cross-quarter period as well, to February, we're actually in this period of death and rebirth and reality correction. And so this reality correction that's been happening, a lot of you may have noticed that certain relationships have been altering in certain ways, certain projects, certain paths, certain plans have either been kind of canceled or dissolved, pushed away, people scattering about, or some things that ultimately are, yes, going to happen have become sort of foregone conclusions, and only for the sake of, look, you are going to have this, but you're going to do this with a different person, or you're going to do this in a different way. You're going to do this with a different team, a different location. You've got the right plan, but you're working with the wrong resources. Whatever is going on there. We've been going through this adjustment to a lot of our personal reality experiences in preparation for this big launching energy, which is, again, going to tell us essentially where we're going to be throughout 2021, what our higher self's priority, our higher self's trajectory is, and what we are essentially going to be doing, what our big stories are, our big chapters, our personal missions are. When I say mission, it's not necessarily intended to be construed as like a purpose or a watch, rinse, and repeat lifestyle that you just kind of do in your sleep, right? If you try and find something you can do in your sleep, you're just going to go back to sleep. It's about understanding these little quests, whether they're main quests or side quests that you are about to embark upon. We have a lot of tools, supplies, and curriculum of the 2021 personal higher self priority coming in quantity and in quality, starting now and amplifying again through the vernal equinox or the March equinox. And what's happening is that these shifts that are going on are basically supplying you, whether it's with whatever you need, abundance, again, social connections, the hookup, locations, spiritual teachings, activations, right? Clearing missions, attunements, whatever is going on there. You're going to get all of these things in quantity and quality in order to be able to work. But you are also going to notice that a lot of maybe energy or support for things that are not on that priority, that are not actually a part of your higher trajectory, are not getting that support. And it's not going to be possible to funnel that support that's like meant to go to this thing over to something that's really got nothing to do with your journey. And so we are also going to be going through a bit of a learning experience. I think we're already doing that. That's, we've been about what exactly has been our higher self's priority, our highest trajectory, versus maybe what we've been doing with our time, doing with our energy. I mean, I've even been noticing, with all of the craziness that's been going on this last few months, a lot of folks got really shown how authentic, organic, and real their spiritual presence really was. And they ended up really, leveling up and really just sort of breaking so many glass ceilings they thought they had to adhere to. And then on the other side, I saw a bunch of people that really didn't have the most honest or authentic or organic presence in their spiritual work. Maybe they didn't even take it on with a pure heart intent anyway. Just kind of get pushed out of it by themselves. We're going to be noticing moments like that in little microcosmic ways, in our lives, whether it's, that, this is ultimately causing me to change tracks when it comes to my career. I'm not doing the same things I was before spiritually, or I'm doing new things spiritually. I'm going to have to budge when it comes to things that maybe I didn't know if I wanted to do, or I felt comfortable doing, or I didn't know how it would be received if I decided to do that. One of my personal challenges was I'm going to do it. I've been teasing mediumship and energy healing for years, for those who've been watching me, and guess what? I have those available as services now. I've incorporated spiritual communication assistance with the Pathwatcher Soul Strategy sessions, and I have also brought out crystalline energy adjustment work for those who are interested in energy healing, and that is available at my website, integrativemysticism.com as well. You're going to have all of those experiences really, really show up for you. We also have memory core purges going on. Now, memory core purges are a little bit different. It sounds almost like something you'd hear in like a Star Wars movie. But a memory core is almost like a memory form. Actually, maybe I should have said memory form instead. So sorry, everyone who saw the live last week. Memory form is a good way to put it. Removing emotional charges from collective perceptions of their own history. When I say that, it's not about purging memories. It's not a memory wipe in and of itself, but it's a different way to do memory. A memory core purge essentially clears a trapped memory or a trapped memory form from a family, an individual, a community. Now, whether that is something that was trapped because it was buried down, right? Maybe it was ignored, denied, or maybe it was attached to or embodied. Some people do embody certain events, certain things they go through, certain relationships they've had, certain whatevers. The cores being purged doesn't take the memory of it away, but it takes the emotional charge out of the energy field. And so what happens with that is that we do not have something that is actually running as a background app while you are working, while you are living, while you are being, which is actually really important because a lot of people don't know about their background apps, so to speak, their subconscious energy forms that might actually be precluding a lot of their best intentions from becoming manifest. They will be coming up to be cleared, right? Preservation of lower timelines has been quashed since the September equinox. But what's happening is that we are expediting a lot of transitions by getting rid of a lot of the energy forms that ultimately kept people tied to frozen moments in time. Now, that does not mean that this does all of the healing and emotional clearing that you have to do, but it does change how it runs in your field. Even how you access your memories is going to go through a bit of a different change. It's like the difference between having something hit you emotionally and, bring you to a memory, or have something that you're listening to or something that you're tasting bring you to a memory. You're going to actually be in a situation where a lot of us have been, where accessing a memory is almost like opening up a file cabinet. You're like, okay, I got it. As opposed to letting the emotion or the sensation take you there. And it's incredibly, incredibly powerful and incredibly liberating as well. So that's what I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because I appreciate it. Don't forget, your bi-weeklies will be coming out here at the end of this week, covering the 2 weeks following the full moon in Leo. So check back for that. And if you ever want to check out a live presentation of my works again, you can follow the links below to my Patreon. Take care.